Hello, my name is Mr. Sexton. I'm going to be your instructor for PS 103 for the winter 2019 4-week intersession class. Now, as you're aware, this class is typically taught in a 16-week time frame, but for this semester, for this intersession, we're going to be teaching it in a 4-week session. So with that said, instead of there being roughly 1 week to cover a chapter, we're going to be covering one chapter per day. Okay, we're going to take into consideration that there's a couple of holidays in here, and we're still going to be covering about one chapter a day. So with that said, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to have to get through quickly, and in this video I'm going to lay out for you the basic way that this course is going to be set up and my recommendations for you on how to be successful in this class. So please listen to this video from beginning to end, and if you have any questions, make sure you contact me at the phone number or email address that's in your syllabus and is also on the screen right now. The first thing that I'd like to bring up is the obvious point that this course is going to be taught using the Moodle Learning Management System. If you're unfamiliar with Moodle, you need very early on in the semester to get with the help desk and go on my Moodle site and find the videos that talk to you about the basics of how to use Moodle. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to make the assumption from this point on that you understand how Moodle works. Now, the way this course is going to be set up, it's going to be set up in what I call daily modules. Every single day of the week that we are in session this semester, there's going to be a block on the Moodle site that will say day 1, December 17th, day 2, December 18th, and so on and so forth. Every day is going to be listed. If you click on any one of those boxes, it will show you what chapter we're covering that day. It will give you PowerPoints and other materials you'll need to study. And it will give you the textbook quiz and any other assignments that you need to do for that day. Those materials will be available each morning by 8 a.m. and must be completed the following morning by 8 a.m. You will have 24 hours to complete each day's materials. Okay, keeping in mind that each day we're going to be covering one chapter. And basically what's going to be expected of you each day of this semester is you're going to have to read the chapter. You're going to have to complete a textbook quiz, which will not cover everything you need to know in the textbook, but it will help me ensure that you are reading at least most of the chapter. It will also give you the opportunity to earn some points. You will also need to watch a video that I will post each day, and I will try in that daily video to kind of give you some ideas on what you really need to look at and what you really need to focus on when reading the chapter. You will, a couple of times during the semester, have a short, maybe 15 to 20 minute lecture video to watch over some topic. And then you'll have to complete any other assignments that are listed that day. Keeping in mind that all of this material that you have to complete will become available at 8 a.m. in the morning and needs to be completed by 8 a.m. the very next morning. And then 8 a.m. the next morning, the next day's materials will be available for you. Let me go into a little bit more detail on the major activities that you will have in this class this semester. The first thing will be the textbook quizzes. As I said earlier, the textbook quizzes will be assigned every day, and they will deal obviously with the textbook chapter that you are expected to read for that day. Now, understand, each quiz is only 10 questions. There's no way that I can cover everything that you need to know from that chapter in a 10-question quiz. The reason I give you those quizzes is, one, to make sure you're in the textbook every day, and also it's an opportunity for you to earn some additional points. The exams are going to have more material than just what's covered on the quiz. But the quiz is just there to get you into the textbook, make sure you're reading it. The next thing that you will have to do each week, each day, obviously, is you're going to need to read the chapter. Now, I will provide you with a general outline, some guidelines on what things you need to look at in the chapter. But understand that that outline or that quote unquote study guide that I give you is not going to ask you every single thing, every single perspective that you need to understand for the exam. It's going to give you some general topics within the textbook you need to look at, and you need to make sure you're reading the textbook and you're able to understand those concepts. This is a big part of taking any online course, is that you understand it's your responsibility to read the textbook in detail and not just go through the chapter and pull out the answers to the questions that are on the textbook quiz. The next thing that you're going to have to do daily is you're going to have to watch the videos that I post. Now, during the week, there are going to be two basic types of videos that you'll find. You will find a daily video that I will post each day. Very, very brief, maybe 5 minutes at the longest, just kind of talking to you about what the chapter is going to be about, what major points within the chapter I want to make sure you really emphasize, and just kind of giving you an update on what's happening in the course. That'll be every day. That'll be a relatively brief video. Then a couple of times each week, there will be certain topics within the chapter we're covering or chapters we're covering that week that I really want to place an emphasis on. Then you will have a little bit longer video. Maybe 2 of those videos a week, maybe running anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes worth of video twice a week. Now, the thing about these videos is that it's going to be from these videos that I'm going to ask you more of the short answer type questions that we'll have on the exams. So you will be required to watch these videos and understand that these videos are going to be about topics that I feel needs a little bit more detail presented, and therefore the topics on those videos are probably not going to have the same material that you'll find in the textbook. So by not watching these videos, you're going to be missing out on material that's going to be on the exam. So make sure you understand there's going to be 2 basic types of videos each week. You'll have your daily update video from me, and then you'll have a couple of those videos detailing or putting more emphasis on a particular concept within one of the chapters that we're covering that week. The next thing you're going to be doing during the semester is you're going to be completing 3 activities that collectively I call the elected officials activities. I do this activity because so many American citizens, not just students, but American citizens, understand the idea that, well, I elect somebody to represent me. But most people don't really understand how those people represent us. We don't understand at what level they represent us. We know, for example, that there are members of Congress that represent us. But most of us can't tell me or tell anybody that, there are actually 3 members of Congress that represents each of us. 1 member represents us in the United States House of Representatives, and we have 2 senators. And then at the state level, there's a state legislature, and in most state legislatures, you have 2 people that represent you. 1 member of the state House and 1 member of the state Senate. All of those things can get very confusing for a lot of American citizens. So the elected officials assignment, and there are going to be 3 of them, what I try to do, what I hope to accomplish with them, is to kind of walk you through the process of who represents you at the state level and who represents you at the national level. So there'll be 3 different assignments there. They'll start out kind of basic, and then it'll get a little bit more detail. And then by the end of this winter session, you will be asked to find the particular names of the people who represent you. Now, there's 30 some of you enrolled in this class for the for the winter session. And just because you all live in Missouri doesn't mean the same people represent you in the state legislature or represent you in Congress. You're going to have to understand that. And you're going to have to find the people, the particular people who represent you in the United States Congress, and the particular people who represent you in your state legislature, is be it Missouri, Illinois, or Indiana, or whatever it happens to be. So, of the points for this semester, those three activities, I believe, make up 75 points. So, the elected officials' assignments together are going to be a big part of what I'm going to ask you to do this semester. Now, the next thing, the last thing that I want to talk about as far as activities for the semester are obviously going to be our exams. The way the exams will work is there will be 3 regular exams and 1 final exam. We will have 5 days worth of material, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then we'll have an exam. You'll have next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday the next week, and then we'll have an exam. So there will be 3 regular exams each week, and then at the end of the semester, you will have your final exam. The way it works is each of the regular exams obviously will cover the materials that were covered in the previous week. The final exam is going to be a little bit different because the way the final exam will work is there'll be 2 or so days that we have new material, and then we'll have the final exam. So the final exam will be partially new material over the last couple of chapters that we covered during the 4th week of class, and then there's going to be a portion of the final exam that's going to be comprehensive. Each one of these exams, all 4 of them, the 3 regular and the final, will be worth 100 points each. You will be required to take all 3 of the first 3 exams. If you get a perfect score, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If you get at least a 90% on the first 3 exams, then you don't have to take the final exam. So if you get at least a 90% on the first exam, at least a 90% on the second exam, and at least a 90% on the third exam, then you do not have to take the final exam. And in that case, your grade will be computed based on the percentage of the points that you earned, not counting the final exam. If you do not score at least a 90% on the first 3 exams, then you have to take the final exam, and the final exam will be computed into your average. The point here is that we want you to put as much emphasis on each of the first 3 exams that you can to show that you're learning the material. If you have any questions about that process and any questions about whether or not you need to take the final exam at the end of the semester, make sure that you're contacting me before the final exam is due. Exams will be taken, obviously, on the Moodle. You'll have roughly an hour to complete each exam. The exams will be open for the whole weekend, so they'll open, first thing Saturday morning, and they'll have to be done by the end of the day on Sunday evening. You'll have those 2 days to choose which time you want to take the exam, but once you start that exam, you will have only 1 hour to complete that exam. So figuring out that we're going to have, somewhere between 40 and 50 questions on each exam, understand that you need to be reading the chapters, taking notes on the chapters, using the PowerPoints and study guides to study for these exams before you take them. If you just do the textbook quiz and answer those 10 questions during the week and then hope that when it comes time to take the exam that you're going to be able to go through the textbook and find the answers for those questions, you're going to find out that you're going to run out of time very quickly. So you need to be reading the chapters as we go, taking notes as we go, and then when it comes time to take the exam, you will have seen the material. Hopefully you'll recognize most of the material when you're asked the question on the exam. And then for the handful of questions that maybe you don't remember or you don't recognize, then you can go back into the textbook. So please don't just think this is an open book test that you don't have to study for. Now, the very last thing that I want to talk about in this intro video is the idea of what we're going to do on the very first day of class on Monday, December the 17th. That first day, I'm going to expect for you to do several things. I'm going to expect you to print out and read the syllabus. I'm going to expect you to have watched this video. I'm going to expect you to have completed the academic honesty quiz or agreement, which explains to you what I expect of you as far as not cheating and not working together and those types of things. And I expect you to do anything else that's listed under that first day's Moodle block. That's going to be some introductory stuff. During the day that you're completing that, at any point, if you have any questions about how anything is going to operate this semester, please give me a call. During the winter session, I'm not in my office as much as during the regular session, so you've got my cell phone. Call me on my cell phone if you have any questions or anything's not working for you. Okay? Then when you come back to sit down and start working on this course on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., that's when we will hit the ground running on the academic activities for this semester. Good luck. I'm really glad that you chose to take this course. I really look forward to working with you. And if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to give me a call, because I know that none of you would be enrolled in this course if you weren't capable of not only passing it, but doing very well in this course. I want to help you in any way I can to achieve that goal.